Hello, this is Erin with the Joy in Pens and Paper, and I'm going to do a walkthrough of my planning process for the week of May 13th through the 19th. I have already pre-filled out my monthly, so I'll just give you a little peek at that. Just so you can see. So this is the monthly, and we're looking at this week. And when I do my monthly, I actually pull a lot of different things from, or I shouldn't say a lot, but I pull my work information from my work Google Calendar. And I wait until the week of just because things change so consistently and I don't like crossing things out. I did have to use some whiteout here for something that is an ongoing meeting, but it isn't happening this week. So I just used whiteout there. And then I tend to be good at keeping my personal things here. Full disclosure, I've been sick. So it's taking me a little bit of time to focus in this moment. Apologies. I did find out on Thursday that I have pneumonia, and my husband found out today, excuse me, that he has pneumonia. So between my son, myself, and my husband, we've all had pneumonia in the span of 2 weeks, 3 weeks. When was it? My son found out he had pneumonia on Thursday the 25th. I found out 2 weeks later. Yeah, so 2.5 weeks. But we all have pneumonia in our left lung, which I find interesting. There is no correlation. The doctor said it's purely chance. And the doctor told me it was purely chance. And when my husband went to urgent care today, they, as a team of medical physicians, talked about it and kind of teased him about us being the left lung pneumonia family. Whew, sorry. I'm having to pause in my talking so that I don't cough. Today is Saturday. Tomorrow's Mother's Day. I do have plans for Mother's Day, so I wanted to get this recorded ahead of time so I didn't have to worry about it. I did attend a virtual conference today from 10 to 2, and it was actually a really, really good conference. It was one that was geared towards public school BCBA, so the content was actually wonderfully applicable. One of the speakers had a death in the family, so they did a quick pivot, and they had a speaker who specializes in organizational behavior management. So, really looking at not the behavior of necessarily the clients that you're working with, but the professionals that are working with those clients, which I love organizational behavior management. I have taken some coursework in that in the past. Sorry. Tomorrow, I do have a brunch that I'm going to with my family and my in-laws, which will be really nice. Now, Monday is a personal day. So I get 3 of these a year. And sorry if that my breathing hitching is a noise that bothers you. I can try to edit it out, but I'm not sure if I can. So I'm just going to, in kind of fancier lettering, write in personal day. I was originally hoping to be able to do a nice long run, but that's not happening. I looked at what movies are in theaters right now, thinking I could take myself out to a movie. Nothing really that I want to see. So if you have ideas for what I could do on my personal day, please share. I might take myself out for lunch or go sit in a coffee shop for a while. Who knows? And then on Tuesday, and there are a couple of things that I'm going to need to follow up on. So, for example, I need to reschedule a high school observation that I missed Thursday when I was out sick. I need to finalize phase lines on a graph, and then I need to disseminate, those are actually multiple graphs, disseminate those graphs. And that's in preparation for a meeting on Friday, so I definitely want to get that done on Tuesday. And then I have a different, so this is for an observation that was supposed to be last Thursday. I have another high school observation at 8:10. Why did I write 15? My goodness. By the way, if you have a Hobonichi, the Tombow Mono Original correction tape is an exact match for the Hobonichi paper. All right. 11:15. Wow. AIM meeting. That is virtual. And then 12:30 central office. Oh, I also need to do my goal evidence. Beautiful. All right, I'm just going to pop this in case the ink is still drying. Wednesday. So I have on my schedule a weekly consult. We met this past Wednesday and decided we're at a place where we can actually move it to bi-weekly, but I want to work with the special educator on developing a shaping plan. And so we agreed that we would, since we had this time already set aside in our calendar, we would just meet separately this next week to go over it. So that's what we'll do Wednesday. And then at 9 o'clock, I'm going to pop over to the Upper Elementary School for a consult. And I have another consult that afternoon, and then I end my day with a lower elementary consult. Let me just go ahead and pop this here. I have to do some evaluation observations and evaluation surveys to families and evaluation surveys to educators. Because at the end of the month, I'm wrapping up a few evals, so I want to be able to get those out to people. All right, so that's my Wednesday. And that's, as I'm setting up, that's typically what I do is as thoughts come to my mind, I want to capture them and put them as to-do items. And I am doing some self-reflective work and noticing that I tend to start my week really organized, and by Thursday, I'm so fatigued that my organization systems are failing me. So I'm working on, again, I think I've said this in a prior video, but now that I've noticed the pattern, I want to work on addressing it because we are all a work in progress. All right, so Thursday I'm starting my day at the lower elementary for a consult. I then have a once a month consult at the upper elementary. And because I've been unable to, the last couple weeks, do some shifting to stay within a building for a whole day, what I've done is I've started planting the seed going into next year that I'm going to need to be a little bit more pushy with consult times, and I'm going to give buildings a day, and they're going to build out where they want me to be and when in that day so that I can get a better handle on this. And then I have my kindergarten AIM group, which I miss my little book. I was going to say boogers, my little nuggets this past week, which I was sad about. But I just could not do it. And part of it was Wednesday was so jam-packed. I went from 7 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock at night. So by the time I got home, I was so spent. I was ready to cry. And I actually I stopped at BJ's on Thursday, which is what I had planned, Wednesday, which is what I had planned to do since I was going to be in that area. And I picked up the cotton candy green grapes instead of the regular green grapes. And when I had to go to the return checkout, the gentleman looked at me and said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "I'm sorry, I don't feel good. I'm about ready to cry. I got the wrong grapes. I just want to exchange them." And I did my best to not cry while he's in my opinion and my emotional space. It felt like the exchange took forever, and plus having to walk all the way back to the back of a warehouse and then back to the front. And then Thursday, when the antibiotics had not even kicked in, I went to order takeout for my family, and my husband's also really sick, and I had wanted to get a bowl of chili, and I called to place the order, and they said that they don't carry chili, and I just kind of shut down and then didn't order myself food, and was just miserable. I'm a real sad sack when I'm sick. All my resiliency and good coping skills go out the door. So it was a week, and I was supposed to on Thursday night go to a speaker dinner the night before an annual conference where the invited speakers are treated to a dinner as well as the board of directors. And it's always been, or the last time I was able to go to that speaker dinner was in 2019. And since then, everything's been virtual. This was our first year back in person. And it's an opportunity for me to network with people in my field that are highly regarded and that have an area of expertise that in this moment they're kind of the expert in that small area. And so it's nice to be able to sit and have a meal with them and not only get to know them as a person, but get to know some of the behind the scenes of why they became an expert in that area and what their journey was. And I couldn't go because I was so sick, but I did go to the conference on Friday. I made it to about 2:00, 2:30, and then I went home and went to bed. But I'm proud that I made it. I'm proud that I was able to help out, and people were pretty understanding that I was under the weather, and I wore a mask because I don't know if I was contagious or not, and it wasn't 24 hours on an antibiotic. And I did have one person ask me if I was one of those paranoid people in a crowd, which if you are, no judgment. But I really was choosing to wear a mask for the protection of the public when I wasn't comfortable staying home, because this was something I've been on a planning committee for. And like I said, it's the first time it's been in person since 2019. And yeah, but my role as, or the role that I was doing, I was helping out with the kind of Q&A desk for people who were trying to log into the software that we use to track CEUs, and then generally people were asking where different locations were, and I was just kind of Q&A. Because I was working that desk, I missed both of my shout outs during the conference, but a friend of mine sent me a text and let me know that there were two. So yeah, anywho, now I'm babbling. 10 o'clock is a middle school consult. And then 12:55, so I'm just going to put it in this 1 o'clock spot because it's so close to it, is a upper elementary IEP, which will be virtual. And I've got to map out where I'm going to spend my time this week. I generally am at the middle school Mondays and Fridays, and or as much as, when I can be. This would be a day that I would be at the middle school, especially because that's a virtual meeting. The last few weeks, I've had to keep the door to my office locked. There's a particular student that has had a tough time staying out of my office, and once they get in, they will hunker down. Early on this past Monday, they wrapped their fingers in my pant leg and said, "You're not going anywhere." And then the next day came in and said, "I'm not leaving," and then began kicking my desk repeatedly. So trying to work through that. So I'm kind of hesitant to think of my time at the middle school being wonderfully valuable when I have that going on. I should be flattered, but I want to be more productive before I can be flattered. All right, so that is my week for this week. I am not working out right now because I shouldn't. So where I would typically put workout first, I will put budget, and I did already do that today. Journal, 5-year. I probably could fold some laundry. That might be nice. And I might want to do a brain dump just to clear things out. Tomorrow, I want to work with my husband to reconcile our JetBlue card. That's what he uses to make Mother's Day purchases. So I'm waiting to do that until after Mother's Day so that I can get our budget all up to date. It's a little out of whack in this moment. My mother-in-law made some homemade gluten-free chicken noodle soup for my husband and I that we're going to be getting tomorrow. So that will be nice. I've been loving some tomato soup with a little bit of mozzarella cheese melted on top the last few days. It's comforting. And I actually, the Thursday when I didn't get takeout, my neighbor picked me up a can of tomato soup. And it just was really, I felt very nurtured in that moment. So I think that's why I keep going back to it. And then I want to figure out Monday plans. I'm probably going to try to get a little ahead on some YouTube filming. I'm really liking my 3 Inks Thursday that I'm doing. I saw a video posted by Karina Loves to Plan where she had a really cool setup that I'm definitely going to take inspiration from. She noted that she got it from Coffee Monsters Co. Helen, and which I hadn't watched her most recent video. I'm going to go and watch that as well, maybe so I can feel like I'm checking things off. I will put watch Coffee Monsters Co. And then I can check that off. And yeah, we're just going to keep it low key, going to keep recovering, and get ready to hit the ground running on Tuesday because I have a lot to do with just over 20 days left of the school year to go. All right, so with that, I'm going to sign off. Thank you for watching. I appreciate that you gave me this time, and I hope you have a wonderfully productive week. Bye.